Good morning, students. I'm Shashikant Patel, your English teacher, welcomes you once again. I hope you all are fine at home. In our previous lecture, we have studied the lesson Lost Spring and part 1. In that, we have studied the story of the rag pickers in the Delhi and around the area, and it was the story of Sahib. Now today, the same lesson will continue as a part 2, and here we will highlight the problems of the child labor in the city of Firozabad. Here, the central character is the child Mukesh. You all must be knowing that Firozabad is the bangle making capital of India, and almost 20,000 child laborers are in and around Firozabad. Actually, all this is illegal, but let us see what happens there. How Mukesh is a part of that, what kind of life Mukesh and his family leading, and is there any ray of hope for a better future in their life? If this happens or not, we'll come to know after studying this lesson. So for that, we must study the lesson into greater details. So I hope, let us move into the greater detail. Yes, Shri Vasishtha Vidyalaya, and then we are moving there. Now the writer Anis Jung, we have already studied about her bio, that she had been from the University of Usmania and Michigan, and her best famous book is Unveiling India. Now the real story which we are focusing is the child labor problem of bangle makers in Firozabad. This is a story of Mukesh, who says, I want to become a motor mechanic, and that is a very highlighting sentence. He is in the bangle making industry, but he wants to become a motor mechanic. So what is his life? What is his problem? Let us see into greater details. You know, the writer, the boy was confident. Mukesh was confident that, and that's why he replied that he would learn to drive a car. His dream was far away from reality, and although the boy was confident, he would succumb to the society and the pressures. He lived in Firozabad, which was famous for glass bangles. The writer felt that the boy's dream would not materialize and gradually get influenced by the dusty streets of Firozabad. She wanted to say, as the family in the town of Firozabad was involved in the glass bangle industry, so would Mukesh do with the passage of time. She tells us that Firozabad was the main town of India for the glass blowing industry. The families had been involved in working at furnaces, welding glass, and making bangles for generations. They made so many bangles that it seemed that they made bangles for all the women in the world. Mukesh's family is among them. None of them know that it is illegal for children like him to work in the glass furnaces with high temperatures in dingy cells without air and light. That law, if enforced, could get him and all those 20,000 children out of the hot furnaces where they slog their daylight hours, often losing the brightness of their eyes. Here, the writer has focused that almost 20,000 child laborers are there, and unknowingly even their families don't know that this is a crime, and the employers who are employing them, they are also at the fault. But the problem is that by default, when the children grow up in their life, they start doing this work, and that is why it has come down to them. It's very much natural. The writer feels that if the law would have come, then these child laborers can be taken out by forcibly. They often ended up losing their eyesight. So children who start the bangle making work at the age of 5 or 6, by the time they become 18, they lose their eyesight, and that's a big problem. Mukesh was very much happy as he took the writer to his home. He felt proud as he informed her that it was being renovated. They walked down streets which were full of garbage and gave foul smell. This gives us the idea, the locality where these bangle makers live. The streets were flying with slums which were unsteady. The walls were falling apart. The doors were unsteady. And like this. This reminded the writer of the prehistoric man who lived just like animals. Mukesh stopped in front of one such door, hit it hard with his foot and pushed it open. Means even after working such hard, these people's condition is pathetic and poor. The house where Mukesh lived was partially constructed hut. In one corner was a firewood stove made with dead grass. A vessel with spinach leaves was kept on it, on the ground. There were more plates with chopped vegetables in them. There was a thin young woman cooking the evening meal for the family. Her eyes were full of smoke emanating from the stove, but she was still cheerful and smiled to see the writer. She was the wife of Mukesh's elder brother. Although she was not much older than Mukesh, she was a responsible person and was worthy to get respect from the family as the daughter-in-law of the family. She took care of three men, her husband, Mukesh, and their father. Now, as Mukesh's father entered the house, the daughter-in-law hid behind the wall and covered her face behind her veil. It was a tradition for the daughter-in-law to hide their face in the presence of older male members of the family. The elder here was a poor bangle maker. He had worked hard in his life. First as a tailor, then as a bangle maker. He was still not able to either renovate the house or send his sons to school. He had just managed to teach him the skill of making bangles. Actually, this is the story of every house in Firozabad. The parents could not give their children anything else but only make their children to follow the profession of bangle making. Mukesh's grandmother justified her son by saying that he was destined to make bangles as it had been their family profession. She had seen her husband become blind due to the dust from the polishing the glass bangles. She said that their family had got this art of bangle making from God, so they had to carry on the tradition. Here we find that how pathetic their condition is. They were born in a particular caste which had to follow the profession of bangle making. All their life they had just seen these glass bangles. They were everywhere, in the backyard, next house, in their yard, and even in the streets of town. There were huge spiral bunches of bangles in different colors like gold, green, blue, pink, purple. There were bangles of all the colors of the rainbow. Further, the writer says that there were bangles in the neglected yard also. They were dumped on the handcrafts for sale. They were pushed by the men along the streets of Firozabad. The writer describes the environment where these bangle makers work. Their conditions are very, very poor and unhygienic. They were small dark huts. The children would sit next to a line of oil lamps whose flames were unsteady. They, along with their parents, joined the pieces of colored glass into circles called bangles. As they spent a lot of time in the dark, their eyes would not adopt the bright sunlight. Many of them lost their eyesight before gaining adulthood, and that is a major problem in the bangle making industry. There was a young girl by the name of Savita. She wore a faded pink colored dress. She was sitting with an elderly woman and they were joining pieces of glass to make bangles. Her hands moved like a machine, just like the tongs of a machine. The writer wondered if Savita knew that the bangles were sacred. They were a good omen for a woman's wifehood. She thought that Savita would realize this when she would become a bride. That day, she would cover her head with a red colored veil, colored her hands with henna, and wear red colored bangles on her wrist. The elderly woman sitting next to Savita also became bride many years ago. She was still wearing the glass bangles but had lost her eyesight now, and that is the sad part. The elderly woman complained that she had not even eaten a share of food. Share is a unit of measuring quantity. The woman wants to say that they are so poor that they cannot eat enough food. That is the benefit that she has received by adopting the profession of bangle making. The woman's husband has a flowing beard. He says that he does not know anything other than bangle making. All that he has been able to accomplish is to make a house for his family to live in. Here the bottom line is that even after working so hard, they are not even able to earn a proper food of both the times. The writer wonders that probably the old man has achieved something which many other people have not been able to achieve. At least he has been able to secure a shelter for his family. This problem was prevalent in all homes which carried on the profession. They did not know anything else other than bangle making, and it did not even provide them enough to eat. Now here we come to know that this is a problem of everyone in the Firozabad and all the people involved in the bangle making industry. The young men also who had entered the traditional profession also had the same complaint. With the passing time, there was no improvement in their condition. As they had been doing hard work for countless number of years, they did not have the ability to do something else or to dream of it. And that is the sad part of the story. The writer suggests them to form a cooperative. It's very easy for the writer. She talked to a group of young men to get out of clutches of the cruel middlemen who had trapped their elders. The men said that if they dared to do something like that, they would be dragged and beaten up by the police and sent to jail. The act would be termed to be unlawful. The writer felt that as they had no leader, they could not think of doing things differently. They all were so tired, the men and their fathers. Here again we find that if anyone from their community tries to do something better for them, then there is a circle of the middlemen, police, officers, and everybody would do injustice to these bangle making people. These men complained that it was a continuous process. Their poor condition led to lack of concern for their problems. This made them greedy and led to injustice. The writer envisioned that there were two separate worlds. One world which was of such families who were stuck in poverty and the pressure of doing the traditional profession according to the caste in which they were born, means that is the world of the bangle makers. The other world is a never-ending cycle of moneylenders, middlemen, policemen, law keepers, government officials and politicians. Both of these worlds had forced the young boys to follow the family traditions. The young boys get into the profession and become a part of the vicious cycle when even before they realize it, if they did anything else, it meant that they were challenging these two worlds. Here again we find that even if someone tries to do something different, but these middlemen, saukars, police, they do the injustice with this bangle making and never allow these bangle making people to come out of this circle, and that is a real problem there. But students, the ending of this part is very bright, because the boy Mukesh had not been reared up to be bold so that they could dare to go against the system. The writer was happy to sense that Mukesh had the spark in him. There was a ray of hope. Mukesh repeated that he would be a motor mechanic. He wanted to go to a garage and learn the job. The writer asked that as the garage was at a distance from his home, Mukesh insisted that he would walk up to it. She asked him if he dreamt of flying planes. The boy became silent and refused. He did not know about them as he did not know about planes. Not many planes flew over Firozabad, as he had only seen cars moving around in Firozabad. His dreams were restricted up to them, and that's why he decides to learn to be a motor mechanic. He has this kind of passion in him that he is not going to continue the work of bangle making, but he will choose a different path. And here there is a secret of his future and a bright future. There is a ray of hope So students, now we have completed both the parts of this lesson, and what we have come to know is that the child labor is a very serious problem in our country, and we all need to take initiative. We as individual, then as a society, and then the government, and each and everyone. The story of Sahib and the story of Mukesh are two different stories. The writer Anis Bazmi has highlighted that the problem is the same, but it gets affected and everybody has a different kind of attitude to solve it. Sahib succumbs to the realities and started working at a tea stall, but Mukesh, as a bangle making, he decides to quit the job of bangle making and decides to become a motor mechanic. And that is a symbolic thing because he decides to do something better and the future would be his. So I hope you understood everything and all the best to you. Thank you.